Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Now, today's piece I'm working on is the splash of colour. And I've been sitting here for about an hour just thinking about its shape and where it's heading. As for the garden gate, that sort of happened reasonably easily. I found this tea towel, I think it is, in my stash, and it's got a gate leading into a little garden. So I thought, how easy is that? Cut it out, and I'm thinking about building it in up here because that is greens match the writing here. Perfect, too easy. Took a few minutes to sort of find that. But I did go searching online on Marketplace looking for the classic embroidery lady. Now, I don't think I have my phone in here with me. You know the lady I mean, she has a parasol, the big skirt. I'm sure I've got a doily up at my dad's farm that has that embroidered on. So I know I've got a lady somewhere, but I thought because I'm impatient, I'll have a look and see what's available for sale around town. And I think I found a lady that would be perfect to put into my piece because it's just classic doily, isn't it? It's, you know, this piece is all about celebrating people's embroidery and then bringing it together in a collage to match the prompts. So there's the challenge. So I definitely want to add a lady. So whether she's in the prompts or not coming up, I'm not sure, but I think this would be a great place to celebrate that classic lady in a with a parasol. So as for my little piece to go here, really simple. I'm going to cut it out, but what I need to decide, which is probably the main task for this piece, is what am I going to do with the size of this piece? I think I mentioned in the last video that at the bottom of this panel, I've added some lace and some crocheting that really feels like it's terminated it, like it's finished. I have come up with one way I can carry on the lineal line down as planned, or I abandon that idea of it going onto a rolling pin and go sideways so that I've got a little bit more room, because my biggest challenge is because I'm collaging vintage embroideries together, they're all different sizes, so I need all different sorts of spaces to work. So I've been sitting here actually thinking more about my structure. Let me just put the little house aside. This is what I mean. See how I've layered this in here? I feel like I've finished this bottom edge. I feel like it's terminated. So while I was thinking about it, I stitched down this little bit of lace here with maybe the intentions of trimming this off here. And then I start looking up here. Then the little house, I went looking for a cottage or a gate or even an embroidery pattern that I could reproduce here. And I found this little guy. So he's perfect. And I'm going to merge him in to my panel here. Somehow. So now this feels like it's the top. We're heading down the path. This feels like it's the bottom. So, and I really want to use this piece. I love how the stitching has actually come out. You can see where the stitching's come out there. I love that. And I don't want to change it. I don't want to repeat it. And it's also given way here. The linen is so thin. This piece has been used and used and used and used. So I really want to honour this piece and work it into my panel. So I was thinking maybe of cutting this here, bringing this fabric up on the side to become an add-on, and then using the other side of the doily, patch in this lace here so my piece is actually wider, and then up I go from there. That way I've got a little bit more space, so if I can get my hands on a lady doily and she's quite large or small, or I want to do a bigger bird or whatever, I've got room. So that's where I'm at. My gate and all that business, no problems. She is going to work in beautifully there. It'll look really cool. So I'm spending more time thinking about the bottom. I might just fussy cut this a little bit more, just so that it's ready to go. This will be just stitched down and done. Easy. This prompt's really easy for this particular piece. Some of the other pieces were a lot more work. But that was sort of the reason I did this too, because not only do I have a heap of these embroidered doilies that I really want to honour and put into one particular place, I knew that this piece would be fairly simple to do each week. There was not a lot of detail needed, so that gave me the confidence that the French garden could be, you know, full on, and I could really just go for it. So let me just trim this little guy, fussy cut him out so he's ready to install, and then we'll look for some little bits and pieces that will help blend him in. Yeah, that'll work. So what we need now is just some little floral elements to sort of make him appear like he's meant to be there. That one there I grabbed out, and I thought maybe there was something there that could be added. Let's fussy cut that out. It's about blending it all so that it joins seamlessly. And I just need to decide what I'm going to do with this piece. Am I going to continue this lineal straight down idea, or am I going to cut the bottom off and start going horizontally? That's the golden question. I'm hoping by the time I talk this out aloud through, I'll make a decision, but I think I'm going to need to. Do I need to? Sorry, guys. I find it really helpful just talking out aloud. Never used to do this. It was only YouTube videos that, you know, I'd sit there and go round and round in my head quietly. But being able just to talk it out aloud has really helped my creative process. If anything, it's sped it up, because I can sort of, I don't know, listen to myself and the logic that I present and why I'm thinking these thoughts, and then just go, all right, I've heard that story twice, you must want to do it, and away I go. So you can't even see that, but I'm just cut this little guy out. So it's given us this little guy as well. So it's a continuation of the wildflowers. So the wildflowers prompt is just going to be popping up everywhere. It's sort of going to help us blend in all of these other elements. I can see from some of the other YouTube videos and that you're all having similar thoughts. Because we don't know the prompts, we've got to be quite creative with our thinking, because we don't know what's coming. So we've got to leave ourselves wriggle room. Let's see what we can blend with our little house here. Oh, it's a little garden Japanese inspired. I don't want to cover up the path. Maybe it's got to come more over here. Yeah, I like that. I like how I've continued that style of shape up there, so I'm happy with that. Just don't think he's the right. Maybe he's got to tuck in. What other little pieces do I have that could blend in with this little guy? Oh, I've got this piece from off of the pillow slip. It might be a bit big. Oh, I've got this guy. It's finding something that's the right shape. That doesn't feel right either. So I love this piece, but I don't think I'm ready to use that one yet. Something will come along. Where's my box of tricks for this project? Here it is. This is what I'm looking for. My little doily and then my bird doily. So maybe I've got to find something in here to blend through here. What have we got? No, I don't think any of those are suitable. Is there anything small that could come in here? I'm sort of looking for something probably about that size. So a tiny something. And it needs to be able to join in, I think. I wonder if I could do that upside down. That might work. If I took that branch off and that red flower off, I might be able to make these three elements. Let's have a look. Sorry, little bird, you're about to lose your shelter. Let's just nibble that out of there. So there's our little elements. And let's cut. Maybe I'm not ready to make a decision on whether I go horizontal or continue on the vertical downward. I suppose, I don't know. So I sort of feel like I've hemmed myself in. I've got now this little house scene at the top. So that's sort of entering the garden. And I've got the layered doily bottom, so I feel like I've finished myself at the bottom and there's no space in the middle anymore. So my only option is to go wide. Do I need to take that off? Yeah, I need to actually take that off. It's like rebuilding the design, isn't it? When you start fussy cutting out elements to sort of collage everything together so it feels like it is meant to be. I think that will work. Now this little guy, he might be able to tuck in at the top of the pink flowers. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit too so you guys can really see the piece. Okay. This little green leaf can just sneak in there somehow, I think. Somehow. Yeah, that feels like it's nestled. I guess that's what I'm trying to achieve here, is that everything, you know, has its place. Let's have a look at this guy. Let's fussy cut him out a little bit more. Okay. I'll capture all of those pieces so that I've got plenty of branch, plenty of greenery. I can always trim it down once I get rid of this excess, and I can sort of see through. I really do feel like I've got to go sideways. Okay, it's nearly cut out. So this will come together quite easily. There's not a lot of work on this piece. So I might, in the next video, which will be next Monday, we're going to make a decision about whether we go sideways. That will work. I do lose him, but I'm not too concerned, so I'm going to snip that. I'm going to join that into there. I can lift him a fraction to give him that little bit of space. There we go. Does that look like it's meant to be together? I still have this little guy. Do I need it? Probably not. Do I work him in underneath that doily so it looks like the vine? I really like how my vine is sort of peeking in and out of things. So maybe I bring that up into there. Yeah. There we go. Garden gate. So let's get these pieces pinned. So much for it starting up on top of the doily with the words wrapped around the doily. This piece is evolving. It's just changing all the time, which I think is part of the fun too, because we don't know our prompts. I think you need to keep your mind pretty open to your design, and you are literally working on the fly. This is not a tricky, this is a tricky project because you don't know your finished story. If you knew your whole layout and what you were doing, it would be really simple to work your design in its entirety, but we don't know that. It is building as we go, which is really cool. Really, really cool. I know some of you are probably frustrated to no end and thinking, well, what's going to be next? But just go with it and be prepared to change your direction if you need to. your best laid plans may all come undone and you need to go sideways, like I think is going to happen with this, which is very cool. It's really pushing your creative boundaries, which is really good, because often we set it all up at the beginning of the project and away we go. Where this, it's evolving. There we go. I'm really happy with that. You know, when that tea towel came to me, I don't know where it was. I think it was in someone's pack that come out of there. You know, when someone goes into a nursing home and the house is cleaned out. I think that tea towel was in that scenario. And I remember looking at it going, well, I don't want that. It's green. It's not my style. What would I ever use that for? But it ended up in the cupboard. And now it has found its home. And I think it has worked in beautifully. They've done such a good job on doing the embroidery. I'll bring it up to the camera. They've pieced together these little pieces of fabric and then the tiniest little blanket stitch around it. That's why I didn't hand it on to the op shop. I kept looking at it thinking, that is so sweet. It's got a bit of a Japanese feel about it. It's just very well done. So I'm so pleased I've found a home for it. And now I've got this big piece of linen here. Well, it's cotton. Big piece of cotton that I might end up using to actually extend this piece, to be honest. So the next step with this is just to stitch all of those little elements down with a little overcast stitch or a whip stitch. So I'll do a little bit, but then we need to make a decision about the shape of my piece. Where am I heading? Or do I need to make a decision just yet? Do I carry on with seeing where the prompts take us? And maybe there's a prompt coming up that just sends me in a completely different direction. And yeah, at the moment the house has worked. I have made the space around the top of the house still open-ish. The gate is featured and I've got a little garden pergola. I don't know. What a fantastic project. And I think it's because we don't know the end of the story that it makes it such an adventure. I don't know. Do I just cut the bottom off and go up? Okay. One decision I'm about to make. We're cutting the bottom off. So let's do that. I need to make a decision. I'm going to I'll just go straight for now. There's my panel. It's done. We've terminated. So what I might do is I might follow the line of the lace and just fussy cut out all of that. And then I'll go around with an overcast stitch just to make sure that that background is attached to the bottom, because I don't want fraying to happen. We've made a decision. Now, where do we go from now? Do we go sideways or do we go up to the top? I don't think it's a decision I can make today. I need to think about it for the week. And I need to track down that lady doily because I really want to include one. I'm not sure if there'll be a prompt for a human in our garden. Possibly. I might just keep that a little bit sideways there. Okay, all right. Yeah, I like that better. Let me just zoom up a bit. Let's have a little play with this sideways idea, hey? Where's my needle? Is that all safe? Yep. Okay. If we go sideways, we could utilize this piece of linen. Maybe I'll go that way. And just join that into there. So we're on our way sideways. Okay. So the bottom, what are we going to do with the bottom? Maybe I'll pull that down a little bit because I did join in there, so it might as well disappear. So where's the other doily that I used? This guy. So we've got a couple options. We could join that guy in. I've got a bit of a peak here. So I could probably lay that on top there, that little peak. And that would look like, I'm going to just push my camera back a bit so you guys, no need to come forward. Sorry guys. I'll push my work back a bit. So if I disconnected that there, that little peak could join into there. Yeah, I'm going to do it. That seems like a simple join in. We're going sideways, guys. The rolling pin is out. We're going sideways. It's just opened up more garden landscape. I'll just rough cut up. Yeah, that should work. Might aim for that edge. So we might just cut straight through. Might cut where? I think we'll cut up here. Decision made now. We're modifying, change of plans. We're doing a rectangular piece instead of a roll. Right, so this is my add-on. I'm going to need more linen there. Do I go, how do I do this? Let's just pin this guy in first, because maybe, will that sit under there? Yes, it will. Okay. Then that comes on top. That looks pretty seamless there. That comes over a bit more. So if you're looking at your piece and you feel like you've hemmed yourself in, or you just want to make sure you have plenty of room to move for future prompts, this is my suggestion for you to give yourself that, extra wriggle room. Change your direction, change where your piece will go. And I'm going to try and make that look like it was meant to be connected. which I think will work. So let's get some pins in here, like so, and I'll stitch all that down with invisible stitch. Then I'll trim like I did over here around that lace. Now when we get to this side, we will need to extend ourselves again. So let's just get our work pinned. I've got so much seed stitch to do here. I didn't even get back to it. It's that French garden. It's just absorbing me. But this one I think will be way better with this little modification. Okay. So do I just cut the blouse that I took that linen from is just here. Maybe there's enough fabric left. Yeah, there is. This was a little blouse of my mum's that I used in the Christmas project to include her in that. And it's a beautiful little linen piece. So I might just snip a bit more out of that. Take the collar off, just trimming this fabric back down a little bit. I see what I've got now, then sort of piece together. I'll cut from the dart up. Nothing goes to waste, does it? Didn't know where this video would go today. I just thought got some issues with my piece and I just wasn't quite happy with the way it was heading. So, but did I want to change it? I think I needed to. I need space to play. All right, so we got some little morsels of linen here that we can have a good look at. A rectangle there might just do what we need. Okay. What have we got? We got a so let's move it over. Not big enough. Just. No, not big enough. We're going to have to use this piece. Which is fine. So let's lay that in there. And what I will need to do is get some calico underneath as well. Do I have a big piece of calico on the table? Or do I have to get my... No big piece of calico on the table? No. So we've got to grab the calico by the meter. Okay, so let's work out what we need. torn there. Okay. So we need an extension really only. We'll come a little bit further out because that's probably prudent. If we snip and rip. Okay, now we're cooking. So let's get our layers sorted. Calico will come in there as my base. Then we've got that. Square everything up so we're at least heading in a straight line. Now we've got our little piece of linen coming in next. There's some little darts there in the fabric, so I'm just trying to avoid them. So that's laid down. This all helps to give the piece some body as well. So I don't mind that I've got a few layers happening here because it just helps build up and use up all these bits and pieces. So I can now pin this. So the start of another week. How quickly the weeks are flying. We're just cruising through January. It's now Monday again. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I think we've managed to patch together this lace to create the bottom, and it doesn't look too crazy. I can, I'll probably drag some flowers down into this zone just to sort of disguise the fact that this is not one piece of lace coming across there, but it looks bloomin' close. Like only you and I know that that's not. So we'll just carry on with joining all of these pieces. So there you go, we've made a decision. The bottom of my piece is really now decided, and I've gone wider, so I've got plenty of space. So we'll just bring our piece down a little bit and we'll see what's happening up here. So how do we tidy this up? That can go there. So do I get one of these scrappy bits of linen again and patch? Threads everywhere. So do I patch that guy in? There's a selvage there. Let's get rid of that. It's bulk we don't need. This is a perfect example of using bits and pieces to create something new. Let's get that. And all of the background that I'm creating is really similar to what we've done in others, except this background you just won't see. It's all part of building up a substrate for my panel. And then blending it together. Okay. I'm going to trim the linen down this side just to get rid of a little excess that's not needed. I don't think I'll come out past this corner, but I'll leave that there because who knows, maybe I will go sideways again. All right, let's see how we're going here. I've got needles in the way, so we need to fill in this bit of a gap here. So let's bring this across here and cut it. That'll give us a piece to patch in here. Need an iron, so that'll tuck in under there. Oh, goodness me, this is Frankensteining together fabric. Well, my homework will be to join all this together. Right, move that. Do I need that out to there? No, so I'm going to snip and rip that off. Okay. That's going to go there. Now let's try and patch this a bit better. Do I just do that? That's better, isn't it? I can tuck in under there. By the time we're finished, you will never know that this was such a mishmash of scraps to create this piece. It's nice to use some of the scraps on my desk, and this was left over from the Christmas Journal of Stitchery. It was the wrap that went around my advent calendar. So that's good. Where's the other piece? Let's trim that off. I think this is a prime example that I could pick this piece up anytime in the future and just add on a backing panels and then go again. Build it up. Do I just go sideways? Yeah, that'll get me past. So we're going sideways now. Yeah, it's able to be extended is what I'm trying to say, in any direction in the future. So if I come across some doilies that are just beautiful for this piece and the project's long finished, I can just add on a section and go again. It'll just keep growing. I think that, and the theme is down the garden path, so it'll just be such a wide category. Alrighty. So we have got ourselves an extension. I need to probably spend a little bit more time pinning here to make sure it's not all bumpy and lumpy, but that's a pretty good start. Do I have enough fabric to get me this corner? Oh, not quite. Not quite, but that's okay. A doily may come into play there. At least get that joined, get an iron there. So now my piece Don't pull it too much, Corrine, because there's only a few strategically placed pins. This gives me a little bit more room too, that maybe I can include a whole doily like I did there. I'm liking that. I do have a bit of a lineal line happening here with this little piece that I added in previously, but I'm not too concerned because I can lay over it to sort of disguise that sharp line there. Something will present itself. There we go. All right, so let's come up a little bit. So how long is my piece now? How much more work have I created for myself? So that's 12 inches, the extension, and we started with about 7 inches. So there you go. That's the extension. I've added 12 inches to the side of my panel. I've got plenty of fabric in behind everything, so I can invisible stitch all of that together. So it's got a nice feeling of substance about the piece now, like in my hands. That feels really good. She's a Frankenstein, isn't she? Between the background and the doilies. There we go. Just need to find something for up there, which I'm sure will come along because there's so much fabric rolling around here where I've snipped, you know, bits out. There's doilies that have lost their decorative piece, so there's so much fabric, I'm sure something will turn up for there. I wonder if this big white guy then would have a home. Yeah, see, now I've got room to play. I could take him out and build him into here. Yeah, I love it. I'm happy. I'm happy. And I've got so many little pieces on this that I'm yet to find a home for from that pillow slip. I think I told you too, I got this from Adair's. I actually went looking to just confirm a couple of days ago, and it was Bed Bath, and it's not Beyond. It's got another name in Australia. See, now I've even forgotten that. Oh, goodness me. Anyway, I'll try and find out what it is and put it in the description, and I'll write pillow slip sourced from and the name of the business, because I think someone went looking at Adair's and it wasn't there. It's their competitor, and it's not Bed Bath and Beyond. It's Bed Bath and Room. I don't know. Anyway, I'll have a proper look, and I'll put a link in there if I can to their website. So if you did want to pick up a pillow slip, yeah, it'll be handy if you're doing a project like this, just to sort of get some consistency between all of your embroideries. All right, so we've extended our piece. We've worked ourselves in the little entrance to the garden. So you're coming down the garden path. I can't believe that stitching is the same colours of that. Like, you can't write this stuff. It's just amazing how things come together like that. Okay, lovely. All right, guys, look after yourselves. I hope you have a great week, and tomorrow's video will be the antique garden, and there's a lot of work on the antique garden, I think. So what will happen, I believe, is I'll do a few videos and they'll pop up throughout the whole week, because I really need to get cracking on it and yeah, get some threads laid down, especially in some of those flowers and things. So tomorrow you'll see the start of the revisit of that, And then, yeah, away we go from there. All right, guys, have a fantastic week, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.